Angeba Sojola here. In this video, we'll be particularly looking at an air defense system, right, which was developed around the 1970s. It was developed by the Soviet Union under the conditions of the Cold War. The Cold War is where there was an ever-present threat or danger of a nuclear attack happening on the landmass of the Soviet Union. So the Soviet Union needed to develop a number of technologies and methods to counteract this threat. One of the technologies which were developed is known as an S-300 air defense system. Now, when we speak of an S-300, right, air defense system, we are fundamentally speaking of a military equipment that has three elements to it, right? Number one, it has an advanced radar, right? This radar is a number of technologies which have put together, which is used as, for example, a search radar, right? This helps to identify the objects that might be a threat, right? It also has an engagement radar, right? This is solely focused on the actual targeting of the aerial threat that might be, right? And we have in this radar, something known as a command post. This is where all the data is fed and an accurate, what can I say, reading or conclusion comes if to send a missile or not. Now, an advanced radar is the first most important element or component to this air defense system known as the S-300. The second one is basically an engagement radar, right? This is the radar which fundamentally tracks, right, and targets, certain objects that might be a threat, right? And then all of that information is sent to something called a command post. This is where all the data that has been tracking, identifying, and detecting the threat, right, comes through, and then let's say a missile is released, right? Now, the second element to this air defense system that is known as an S-300, right, is basically surface to air missiles, right, with improved range and accuracy to it. Now, there is a number of S-300 series family that you can identify, right? These can come in various ranges, right? When we speak of an improved range, you can get a variety of options of the ranges that might be 40 meters, right? 75 kilometers and 175 kilometers. So this is the range at which the air defense system known as an S-300 can engage its targets, right? So, and the third important component to this air defense system is the missile launcher, right? This is where the missiles get launched in such a way as to target these objects or threats that might be airborne, right? Now, in the 70s, the first of these technologies to be deployed was in 1979, right? Now, in the 80s, a number of them also followed, right? A number of S-300 family air defense system followed, right? For example, there is an S-300P, right, which is fundamentally used by the Air Force of Russia, right? It's specifically designed to be used by the Air Force of the Soviet Union. I mean, back then. Now, there is an S-300V, right? An S-300V is fundamentally an air defense system for ground forces or infantry or people with tanks and specifically on land, right? And then I'd say you have an S-300, is it U? What is it? An S-300F, right? Which is fundamentally used by the Navy, right? It has been customized in such a way that the Navy can use it. Maybe it can be in a ship to protect it from incoming cruise missiles and things like that, right? Now, there are also two others which were developed, known as the S-300 PUM-1, right, and S-300 PUM-2. These were specifically designed to be maneuverable, meaning they could be designed to sit, let's say, behind a truck, which this truck can be deployed anywhere and everywhere, right? Be it rough terrain, be it in rail, anywhere. So these two, the S-300 PUM-1 and PUM-2, right, were developed for it to be flexible and mobile, right? Now, a number of countries around the world use this technology, from a number of Asian countries to Iran, right? Also, about three NATO countries in Eastern Europe also uses this technology. I remember earlier on in the war, Poland sent an S-300 to Ukraine as its donation to the war, right, in support of Ukraine, right? So all of all of this technology, which has been used as an air defense system, right, is solely from Russia. And at the time of deployment, it was the most advanced air defense system to actually be seen in the battlefield, right? So I am very impressed with the S-300 and its development, right, and the service that it has rendered to the Russians and other people who actually bought it, right? So this is an S-300 series, just in short, to understand the type of air defense system that Russia has has in its hand, right? So thank you for the opportunity. I'll see you in the next video.